share your experience, and let us learn from each other. I wish us a fruitful deliberation. Thank you. So right now I'll call on Efina's CEO, Miss Foyisolami Akinjayeji, to come up for her opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Um, I'm not sure there's a need for any special opening remarks. I'm standing behind the. Okay, calm down, calm down. I'm gonna move. Okay, so I was saying thank you all so much for coming. I went to the extreme end of what's it called, Ahmed Onibudo, and then Google Map was saying you have arrived. I'm like, I've not arrived. And I said, so we did another turn, and then we got back to the same place. You have arrived. I said, no. Thank God for connections. I was able to reach my colleague, and then we got here. Thank you again. I think the context is already clear. Because with the expansion of digital financial services, it comes with its benefits and then the antecedents, or the associated risks. And a key one that we want to really expand on today is on issues around that as it relates to digital, credit in particular, and lending, as it were. So the fact that people are getting online lending services, and then we need to say kudos to FCCPC for the great work you've done so far, especially on the DO regulations. I'm curious to see how enforcement is going with regards to that, because I'm not sure people even know about it yet. I'm not sure my colleague is a very close a relative of mine just recently sent a note to me that she had, I'm not going to mention names, but that she got online credit. She paid in full. She got a notification to say, oh, you've been upgraded because of your great performance. And before she could say anything, that's what she told me, that we're going to investigate, hopefully with your support, that they credited her again. And she sent me the note to say, I don't want credit. I didn't ask for credit. And it's okay, you know what? You can send it back. But if you send it back through this particular, say, bank account, you're going to have to pay the interest. So rather send it to this other account. When she showed me the alert, it was not the name of. I said, why would you send this? She said because she was desperate to send it back so she wouldn't have to pay the interest. And it was interest for, I can't remember how much, for 7 days. It was ridiculous. So she was trying to avoid all of that penalty and then pay to a scam account. Now the money she supposedly borrowed, she has to pay back. The one she has refunded is lost. So how do we prevent issues like that? And many others that we don't even hear about, because they are happening in those places where people, once they get beaten, they swear off. And all the gains that we have enjoyed with financial inclusion, we now start to see those gains reverse. Because you don't want people joining and then leaving on account of negative experience. So this really is just one of the examples that we are hoping we can trash out. But more importantly, to get the information to everyone that needs to know, both the operators, the regulators, the consumers, such that there is so much more trust in the ecosystem. Because with financial services, many other, I always say that you can argue with me. I don't know of any sustainable development goal that you can achieve without financial inclusion. So when you now start to see issues with financial inclusion, then we know that the other SDGs will be impacted. So let me rest here to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the online lives. Thank you so much for to director for being here as well. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation, and I wish every one of us here a wonderful deliberation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, the CEO of EFINA, Ms. Foyne, for the clear opening remarks. Just some ground rules, please. For those here physically, please just put your phone on silent so that it doesn't ring out loud, right? And also just minimize moving up and down. So right now, I'll hand over to the advocacy and communications lead of EFINA, who's going to moderate the discussion.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Nora. I think that the CEO has done a great job setting the context for the next 40 to 45 minutes of this conversation. But before I invite our esteemed panelists and the people who are definitely committed and passionate about this issue, I'll just read a few ground rules to guide us through the next session. So, for the discussion, please, we'll begin with questions that were submitted that we collated from online registration. So once we're done with this discussion, then we'll take questions from the physical and online audience as well. So for the Q&A, when we get to the Q&A session, which is after we've had the panel discussion, first we have both a physical and virtual audience. So we'll take questions from both. I'm repeating that. And then for those joining us virtually, please use the Q&A chat function. I know there's someone online that is also moderating that session, so you should be fine. If you have any questions, you submit your questions. And for those in the room, will just indicate by raising your hand, and a microphone will be brought to you. For time control, we'll like for each person online to be unmuted, and they have exactly 1 minute to ask their question, and you may be muted after that. So if you're speaking, then you have only 1 minute. If you're typing it, someone online will share the question with us. And then we will also prioritize questions that are relevant to the theme of today's discussion, and particularly around digital lending, consumer protection, and redress. And finally, we will unmute a few virtual participants as time allows to ask their questions. I know that we're running a bit behind schedule, but hopefully we can make up time as we go through this conversation. So that will be it for the ground rules. I'll now move very quickly to invite our very esteemed panelists. I'll call up each person to come and join me here. And I know that one of our panelists is online from the CBN. So I'll start with the people in the room first. I'll start with Mrs. Bola Dale Adeyinka, who is the Director, Surveillance and Investigation, FCCPC. Please make her warm welcome as she joins me. Thank you very much, ma'am. Next up is Mrs. Shola Salako Ajulo, President of CAFON. Please welcome her. Thank you very much. And I promise, I know it's Women's Month. I didn't do this intentionally, but the only gentleman on the panel. Okay, if you say, I'll take that. Please, let's make welcome Ms. Agbemi Adelekon, President of Money Lenders Association in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a very balanced panel. And then joining us is online Dr. Aisha Isa Olatinwo, Director, Consumer Protection and Financial Inclusion Department, the Central Bank of Nigeria. Please give her a round of applause. Dr. Aisha, if you're online. I know. Fantastic. You're muted, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, our moderator. Thank you, the organizer. I'm glad to be back again on this session. But most sincerely, I apologize that I couldn't make it physically as earlier confirmed. Apologies. I'm on another national assignment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. We do appreciate you taking out time even to join us online. We do not take it for granted at all. And to all the other esteemed panelists as well, we thank you for taking out time. So without further ado, I will just go straight into the next session, which is basically to invite the Director of Consumer Protection and Financial Inclusion Department at the CBN, Dr. Aisha, to give her opening remarks, which is really essentially giving an overview of the state of consumer protection in Nigeria's credit ecosystem and the key regulatory reforms and priorities that are ongoing. So, Dr. Aisha, please welcome to share an overview of the ecosystem.
Thank you so very much once again. Thank you, my co-partners in the panel, and happy to also give a brief about the current situation. I would always say I feel your pains as humans. I am also, but not again without saying thank you to better position. And I always say that most times part of this world, people say thank you when things are well done. Only, or we make so much noise when they're not properly done. And I don't, it's not unusual because, of course, pains linger longer than joy. Or you feel pains more than joy. Joy is, it's not, but pain, it hurts and it can also deep in and even lead to several other consequences. So we feel your pain, but we thank now for organizing this session. And I can tell you from the last time, we take on some issues which have led to policy release, including that we are fast tracking the deployment of our solution, which we said will be very dramatic, ensuring that customers' complaints, procedure, protocols are seamless. I would like to also mention that we have seen a drop in complaints escalated to CBN. So, not necessarily that the numbers have dropped, but complaints escalated to CBN. We have seen a drop in that, particularly for 2 months, which every day of this my work, it's always again. So it was even us that had to find out what happened, and we found that they had created an entire floor solving complaints 24/7. And we had to also speak to other banks to please liaise with them and see what they did differently. So, like we mentioned, there will always be drop off. You don't have anything that is 100%. But when you commit to supporting and protecting customers, even at that first level, I foresee even a general drop in complaints because you help them to see the areas where there are issues and they tighten up. And over time, they will even be in the forefront to ensure that they when CBN also mentioned, honestly, all the banks said we were there, the other ministers were trying to see the local coordinate the monetary and fiscal policy. It was also close to safety, saying that we have seen considerable improvement in their relationship with customers. And also, like I said, they have issued several policies, which some would address some of the questions here. So thank you for the partnership and thank everyone who created time to send questions. Honestly, it is not to unite us. Consumers are well protected. That can guarantee financial system stability. Thank you and thank you again for the opportunity to be part of this panel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha. Thank you so much for presenting that overview. And I think, in a nutshell, what you've just said is we will continue to have complaints. There'll be issues. The goal is how are we poised to address them? How do we work as a collective to reduce them and bring them to the barest minimum? And front and center remains the consumers. How do we make sure that their experience remains as positive as possible? So thank you very much. I will now like to invite the Director, Surveillance and Investigation of the FCCPC, Mrs. Adeyinka, to just share insights from the work that she does at the FCCPC and how they're also responding to some of these challenges very briefly. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Again, let me first appreciate Efina and Madam um, Foyinsola, 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 for inviting us again. The FCCPC's relationship with Efina has been some kind of a long-standing one, and we are happy that we are able to continue the relationship for the good work that Efina has been doing. And like I was saying when I started, that we look forward to engaging with your reports, because that's in the system to be able to collect data that are credible and help policies shape policies with those data. Incidentally, when we looked at the theme, inclusive systems, fair lending, responsible borrowing, faster redress, this is not just a sequence of words. It's actually a fundamental architecture for a sustainable and trustworthy financial ecosystem. Each of those components is important in the conversation in this room. We have to ensure that the system is not only inclusive. I can give us a tick on that so far, thanks to fintech, that has actually given access. And with access comes also incredible amount of issues or challenges, as expected. We were looking for access a few years ago. Now we have access, and then the access has also given us access to more challenges. And then we have to still continue to, because that is the essence of innovation, continue to fix the challenges with other innovative systems. So the challenges are not the problem. It's just how we are fixing them and ensuring that we continue to maintain confidence, consumer confidence in the ecosystem. So we look at, then the next one is fair lending. This is where we are at the moment, because incredible amount of conduct, business conduct that we consider obnoxious and unfair to consumers are currently happening in this system, because a lot of people, not just from the fintech side, but also from consumers, are interfacing with the system and at different levels. So when we look at fair lending, we look at it on both sides. Incidentally, our commission does not just protect consumers alone, it also has the mandate to make sure that business is competitive. So when you look at fairness, you don't just stay on the side of consumers, because sometimes part of the problem is also because of the anti-competitive structures that we might have in the environment. Part of it might be also regulatory issues that we need to sit around the table and work together, because the bad guys are okay when the regulators are, instead of concentrating on the system and making it work, we are fighting for power and jurisdiction. So fairness is broader than just looking at it from the consumer perspective. Everybody has to be, everybody's hand is in that pudding. Responsive borrowing, again, that's the consumer issue for us, and we are very focused on that. You cannot just say because you borrow, you will not pay back. It's also going to affect the system, both from the standpoint of continuity and sustainability. So we need to look at it as well. And of course, the big giant in the room is redress. I always say, if you can collect money at the click of a button, I do not see why you cannot get redress at the click of a button. So we need to work on that. If we have tech to receive, we must have tech to resolve complaints as well. It's not when it comes to complaint, then we now remember that you need to bring your father, your mother, and every other thing that you didn't require to collect it. And just to mention what the CEO said, with respect to we need to distinguish fraud and call it fraud in the ecosystem as opposed to a business practice. We need to make sure that we call fraud. If you were in Nigeria when we started ATM, the same thing happened. Every time you see innovation, the bad guys are ready. So they keep policing it and keep looking for how to make sure that the system does not deliver its intended objective. So here you have a responsible lender, paid back, and then all of a sudden you want to credit, and then you credit unsolicited loans. It's the same with unsolicited text messages. Everywhere in Nigeria, it's not just in one field. You will find people giving you what you did not ask for, or disturbing you to enjoy what you really asked for, or continuing to give multiple subscription for only one-time subscription intention. So these are things that happen across the system, So I think for us, next move in terms of what do we anticipate. So a faithful, responsible customer, I've paid my loan, I don't want loan. Because you have paid your loan, the scammer now comes on board to give you more loans, and then the narration is that don't pay to this, because it is not the company that is doing all of this anymore. It's a scammer, and we need to call it what it is so that consumers can be aware. It's the same way you protect your password. It's the same way you protect anything. It's not peculiar to fintech. It's peculiar to the character of the consumer behavior and how scammers are looking at the way we behave. Nobody wants to pay more interest, so please quickly do this one. And then you've paid 150,000 instead of paying 15,000. You've lost 15,000. You're still going to pay the 150,000 credit. You're still going to pay the interest. So you are now owing 165,000 to this, thanks to those people, the bad guys. So I think for us, we are moving away from just looking at the ecosystem from the point of, oh, is it the system that is doing this? No, fraud is fraud. I'll stop there for now. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for that very comprehensive oversight of what FCCPC is doing and staying ahead of this work. And also, just I guess the message is consumers also have a responsibility. And at the end of the day, if you're looking for shortcuts, then there's consequences for taking the shortcuts. Okay, but before I go ahead to invite the next person, I'm reminded I was supposed to announce a quick poll that we want to run just to get a sense of people's experiences, knowledge, and perceptions around these lending practices. So I think it's specifically for the online audience. What I'll do then for the people in the room is just ask you for your experiences, if anybody has had similar. So is it coming up? Is the poll coming up? Sir? It's up now. Okay. Okay, whilst we're waiting, maybe I'll just continue because of time. Okay, so Mrs. Ajula, it's up? Okay. So we're going to do it before and after. So we get the results from here, and at the end of the session, we'll run another poll and just see if there's any change in whether knowledge and perception based on the conversation that we're having here. We're hoping that, would have seen improved knowledge and perception with the panelists that we have to address some of the concerns or questions that people have. Does anybody in the room want to volunteer to share around any of these questions where they're at? Is anybody interested? One person, at least. Can you see the questions? No, it's not visible. Okay, that's fine. I'll then let you. Okay, so while that's going on, let me continue. So yes, Mrs. Ajalo, please, as the president of CAFON, would like to hear how you are also playing an active role in ensuring that borrowers are protected, their interests are protected. Please welcome.
Thank you very much. It's always an honor to partner and collaborate with EFINA. We've been at it for a pretty long time. At Consumer Advocacy Foundation of Nigeria, we have been very focused on three major things. First, our business is to make consumer rights usable for the consumer. There's a big gap between the laws and the action. And we've been in that space trying to bridge that gap as much as we can, because we find that an inclusive financial system is not just about access to the financial service, it is also about access to protection. And our experience in that sector are dated back, just as Mr. Adinka mentioned, when innovations are introduced into the market space, the great challenges that follow them. Usually the protection system is playing catch up. So it's trying to help to bridge that. And we've been at that position for some time by empowering consumers with information. We've been running a whole lot of platforms. In fact, someone just asked me in this room, oh, it's been a long time since we attended one of CAFON. We used to have a forum, the Lagos Consumer Forum, with in conjunction with LTV, where we would hit on a particular sector and focus on all the issues around it. And from my experience, I think from all the complaints we get, the financial sector seems to be the main area where there's so much uh, lack of knowledge. The people just don't understand how to, navigate the whole process. And then we keep, it's probably one of the most innovative also. So it's as if it's compounding, the innovation brings added before we are able to resolve what is on ground. Another innovation is here. We have to now start running to challenges. So that's one of the things that we do. We empower consumers, help them to know their rights, help them to know how do they access those rights. Where can they find them? How do they use them? And at the same time, know what to do when something is wrong. That's been the area where we focused on. We've also been working with accountability. We've been engaging a lot of institutions and service providers to ensure, generally, not just in the financial sector, but generally, to ensure that they are learning how to be accountable to their consumers. And when there are gaps, we help to work with them to try and see how we can help to close those gaps with the general focus of ensuring that any consumer who interacts with your business goes away understanding that they've gotten value. And so wherever there's gaps in being able to get value, we step in, we work, we call out, we support, we do all we can to try and ensure that even on the service provider side, you are also supported to ensure that you protect the consumer in the business. And finally, we are dedicated to working to ensure faster redress. Mrs. Adika will tell you how much of stress I harass them a lot, even though I'm partly in the system right now. But I'm still on the adjudicating side. So they are still the ones who have the regulatory functions, and she knows I still push a lot on trying to say we have a case. Just today, I said I have a case I want to send to you now. So we work on trying to get faster redress for consumers, because once the feedback we get from consumers is the delay makes them lose confidence, makes them lose hope, and so they don't bother. So while we may say that, Dr. Aisha has said, that they've really seen a drop in consumer, it may not be a drop based, yes, escalated to CBN. It may not be a drop in the fact that people are still under that pressure. It's just that they feel we don't, even when we escalate to CBN, we don't get response, or the response is delayed and all that. And to help with that, just this World Consumer Rights Day, which is still the month of the World Consumer Rights Day, we're still in March. CAFON, we have escalated to using AI as a platform. We created an AI platform that's called the CAFON Consumer Companion. And what it does is, once you have access to that platform, we have loaded with all the information. We are still loading it with all the information we have that consumers should know. So once you explain what your issue is, it would give you direction. It would show you the laws that protect you. It would also help you escalate how you should escalate your process, your complaints. And it also goes further to help draft a real functional complaint, maybe letter or message, so that because many times when consumers do send complaints, Mr. Adenka would testify, they don't even know, they just know that they're angry. But you have to now start calling them to get specifics that can help you help them. That is what 3C is what we call it. The CAFON Consumer Companion would help to do. It would help to draft a complaint that if a regulator gets it, or even if a business gets it, they already know, oh, you know what you're talking about. So it will be easier for them to respond to you. So we're hoping to increase the pace of redress by ensuring that the consumers have enough information and power and understanding on how to use all the great structures that we have achieved now. Because when we started, we didn't have all these structures. We didn't have the law. We didn't have agencies like FCPC with so much power and capacity. We didn't have departments in the CBN that was taking care of consumer protection. So we now have those things. How do we help consumers use them in such a way that it benefits them? So that's the area where CAFON is focusing right now. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Ajola, for the great work that you're doing to ensure that consumers' interests are protected. And I like the fact that you've even gone ahead to now use technology to make that process efficient. That's amazing work. Please, if you're looking to support CAFON, I'm sure that they need your support, funding to do this work even.
Yes, we will host you.
Exactly, exactly. It's very important.
Get the benefit that they want. So everybody,
Is happy. Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. So I'll move very quickly to Mr. Agbemi Adelekon, President of Moneylenders Association in Nigeria, to just share quick insights on the work that you're doing as well.
Thank you so much. My name is Bemi Adeleko. I'm actually the president of the Moneylenders Association. I must insist that I'm the president of the licensed money lenders.
I like that.
I need to be clear about that. What we do basically is to sort of support one another in terms of licensed money lenders and to ensure sorry. Hello, can you hear me now? Oh no. I'll have to start all over again. Okay, my name is Bemi Adelekon. I'm actually the president of Moneylenders Association, and as I said, the president of licensed money lenders in the country. What we do basically is to sensitize people in terms of the service that we provide, and to show a positive, to show the positive service that we provide for consumers in the country. And that's why this particular topic this morning is quite apt in terms of the for money lenders. We are committed in terms of providing a service that is transparent, that is inclusive, that is in terms of the four, I call it 4 pillars really, because this is germane to our service: inclusive system, fair lending, responsible borrowing, and faster redress. For us as licensed money lenders, with the way we operate in a regulated ecosystem now, let's forget about what was happening before in terms of how this area was operating in terms of the negative vibes. Now that we've got a regulator that I must say understands the system and knows what is happening in the system, everybody has to sit up, especially licensed money lenders, licensed digital lenders, because you've got a new sheriff in town, which is the FCCPC. So this particular topic, I won't even call it a topic. It's a pillar. It's quite fundamental to our business. And the reason why I'm saying that is inclusive system, because we are bridging a gap of people that are unbanked, people that are that don't have access to the normal traditional financial institution. You can be in Zamfara State and you've got a phone device with internet. You can come on the system and apply, provided it meets the condition of service. You'll be able to get a loan from us. This comes with a lot of issues, but at the end of the day, we are portraying in terms of positivity in the service that we provide, because it's like a lifeline for some people, especially the low-income earners that come on our system, whether you have a regular income or whether you have irregular income. Most of our people in the informal sector, they have irregular income, and we're able to take care of them. It comes with challenges, but that is why we've got our regulators that is whipping us into line. And what we are telling our members now is, you need to comply for you to be competitive in a regulated society. We've got a new sheriff that understands what is going on, and customer, for this business, you need the trust of the customer. So it is so germane that, for example, in terms of inclusive system, bridging the gap, as I said, we're moving from the traditional way to digital alternatives in terms of, and you are able to get a loan. You don't have to bring your grandfather's grave as security or grandfather's document. we are the ones taking the risk, and that risk comes with sometimes the premium that we charge for the risk we take. In terms of, I was speaking to your rep before the meeting, and she was saying that loan shark, and I said, no, you can't call us loan shark. That was then when you had people that were doing the the bad guys, which you call the bad guys. But now it's zero tolerance of in terms of the regulators. They are really armoring and looking at things that we do. So in terms of the way we are operating as a proper business, ethical business. You still have people that are coming on. We still have people online that are doing bad stuff in terms of using APK as an Android package. They'll just send you a link, and you use the link rather than going onto maybe Google Play or Apple Store. That way, you are some of these things that you just said. You won't have applied. People will send you a loan. They will ask you to give you. You need to bring a bond of maybe half of the money that you are even applying for. That shows you that these people are not genuine, and that is the advocacy that we've been pushing. That when you want to know a genuine license, go on FCC's flight, read the reviews for some of these companies online, because as soon as FCCPC goes after them, you see another one setting up the next day, sending links. And when you get on those links, as soon as you click it, it goes to a website of a recognized lender, and you now apply. But how can you? Yeah, the cloned ones. So we need to distinguish between the approved ones and the all these guys doing the wrong stuff. I think I need to stop there.
Yes,
but as I said,
because you answer more questions that allow you to speak to this. Thank you so
this
much.
This title is such important for our survival.
It is. Yeah? Thank you so much, and thank you for acknowledging that. Okay, just to steward time as responsibly as possible, I will then quickly move into the questions. And as I mentioned earlier, we collected questions from participants that registered online. So the questions I'm going through for the next 30 to 40 minutes will really be from people who have sent us questions to ask you. And we've broken them into like 6 different areas. I'll start with the debt collection practices. And the first question is, what systems are in place to checkmate being used as guarantors for a loan that I'm not aware of and unknowingly implicated? I'll just read that again. What systems are in place to checkmate being used as a guarantor for a loan that I'm not aware of and unknowingly implicated? And I think this is speaking to the people Mr. Adelekon was talking about, the loan sharks. You just see your picture somewhere. So I think I'll start with you, and then Mrs.
No, I just wanted to suggest.
Yes.
Because I know you're trying to manage time.
Yes.
Since those questions are grouped together, I think maybe we can take the questions that has to do with maybe debt recovery and quote unquote, take all those questions together so that when we address, we speak to all of that together. Because if you pick it one by one, by the time you go down this line and you pick up the second one, we may not be able to touch as much.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll do that. So that's one question. The second question I'll ask on this category is, how best can the regulator protect microfinance banks from multiple borrowers who have funds in commercial banks and fail to pay their loan? So this is the supply side person. And then the third question, what are the policies or laws protecting consumers against illegal debt collection practices? Mr. Adelekun, do you want to start with the first question?
Okay.
Yes.
In terms of the way we operate, I'm surprised because for a customer to say that they are not even aware of being a guarantor, because sometimes for us as a reputable money lender, you will, for example, a customer comes to you, is applying for a loan. What you would do is, okay, after you've reviewed, you've done your assessment, and you want a guarantor, you will send a message to that guarantor the guarantor will confirm to you that they are ready to guarantee. We need to distinguish between guarantee and referee. So, if you're a referee, you don't have any liability. All we want from you is to be able to talk to the customer if there are issues. But if you're a guarantor, you've got a liability. So I don't understand when someone is saying that he's been shown as a guarantor and is not even aware of signing a guarantee.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is, who sent? Sorry.
Okay.
Customer comes to you,
Yes.
is supposed to produce a guarantor.
Yes.
The bad guys, not money lenders members,
Okay.
have what they do is they access the phone, pick one who probably, maybe you said Adeyinka CBN, or this one must be,
Okay.
you understand, by the narration of that,
Yes.
and can target that as the guarantor without that guy knowing anything about that.
And so there's no
So for
contract.
you that you do the normal one, what happens? Do you get in touch with the guarantor directly?
Yes.
You call. What do you do? We want to hear.
Okay.
You call them.
So.
Because nobody comes to you in the bank or your offices.
Yeah, they don't. What normally happens? Sorry. What normally happens is you'll apply. You may be asked for a referee. In terms of the amount you're applying for, the lender might ask you that you need a guarantor. Provide the name and number of the guarantor. The first thing is you will send an email to the guarantor to say that this person has used it as a guarantor. Please provide 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe your ID. You get information about the ID and give us an idea of your income.
Yes.
Because most guarantors are always not too comfortable in providing like a bank statement.
Yes.
They are not the ones taking the loan.
Yes.
And you need to sign.
Yes.
So after that is done, that comes to us.
Yes.
So we may not call you, but you will have signed and sent that information to us. And that's why I'm saying I don't understand how you can be.
Yeah.
So for the
guarantor.
guarantor that, so for the
Yeah.
bad guys or
Okay.
for the person that is a victim, please.
Okay.
Once you did not sign, the FCCPC under Dion will ensure that there is no liability.
There's
at
no
all.
liability.
Go to sleep.
Okay.
And if you are being haunted by messages, please forward it to us.
Yes.
Because
Just
again, they
escalate
know
it.
what it is
Okay.
with such kind of messaging.
Yeah.
They know what happens. But the bad guys, like he said, operate with links on APK. They don't use apps.
They don't.
So they can create and metamorphosize every second.
Sorry, ma. And that is why it's
Multiple-
so important that we tell people when people send links to you for online, you want to apply. Please don't.
It's fraud.
It is
So-
fraud.
It's a,
Just
it's,
go
it's,
to.
it's a red flag.
So
Yes.
for this particular question, I guess what
Yes.
you're saying, because this does happen, people
does.
get their pictures.
Yes.
So the message is, if I find that somebody has used my details and they're reaching out to me in the event of the person not paying back, I send a message to FCCPC.
Please just send it to us, forward it to us.
Fantastic.
Right, immediately. The faster the better. You don't even need to just forward all of them to us.
Okay.
And
So the third question. I want
Okay.
them to answer the third question before I
The third
make my
question.
comment.
Okay. I mean, so do you have a response to the third question? Because
what's
we
the third
can,
question?
because we also have Dr. Aisha, and I'd like to hear from her.
Yes.
The third question.
Dr. Aisha, okay, the third question was, what are the policies or laws protecting consumers against illegal debt collection practices?
Hey, Dr. Aisha should go.
Okay, Dr. Aisha.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to unmute. You know, sometimes that's why this guy is always very
Yes.
Anyway, we shouldn't also condemn technology. It's done so much for us. Okay, so I saw the question and I was wondering, what do we understand or define as illegal? Do you know how the repayment time? If you're unable to pay back as at when due, have you approached the lender to restructure? Why under any guise I do not support those naming and shaming? unfortunately, we didn't license them. So I may be unable to speak for them how the protocol of their administering lending is put in their approval. Because a bank today cannot, and if any bank has done that, can anybody show me? It's in fact, a very sanctionable offense for a licensed entity under the CBN to go to a press or go and leak your information to everybody on your what you call it, directory, and so on and so forth. But however, I think coming back, I will appreciate FCCPC because since we had engagement at the National Assembly, they have been working with us and we have been working together. In fact, oftentimes I reach out to Dr. Tunjibe. So they escalate issues to us. Oh, this person said no, and they haven't gotten response. Several times we normally would provide them with our response that oh, we have responded. So maybe the person didn't receive or the person is not satisfied, but their letter is showing that it didn't respond. So we just reply, thank you for this explanation. Find attach our response to the complainant so that if they need to resend, they can resend. So in fairness, we've been working together. And I think they are in the best position to provide that answer of why which I think it's common with what you call the loan sharks, and I don't know why they call them that.
Sharks.
Refer to them as digital lender because they just stay in one place and can disburse money via apps. We had reservation about the coordination because in the constitution today, under any guise, if you lend, you must be collecting deposits. And as long as you collect deposits,
I know.
you are supposed
We
to be
don't know.
regulated by the CBN. License you. But I will say, honestly, FCCPC did the right thing at the time they did that. The market was the lenders without any on social media, but we don't get involved in it because consumer should go to the right licensed entities to borrow, including that even we get complaints about charges, fees, and when we do investigations, interest rate, we see tracking back to those people. Unfortunately, I can call them to order because I didn't license them. So maybe that's one area. The fallout of that under this discussion or conversation will be, I think we need to work together with FCCPC. We could take a joint
Approach.
supervision or
Makes sense.
monitoring of them because I don't know how often FCCPC monitor them. I don't know if FCCPC has the capacity to guide them on prudential guidelines. That way, they will know how to behave. But if they don't want to behave in a way it is required, this is not even CBN. This is the rule of all central banks world over. So we have a coordinating document. So now they have moved from Basel 1 to Basel 2. All countries are implementing Basel 3. And in all of each of these accords, the issue of lending has always been taken very seriously. Which countries use to issue prudential guidelines? So it shows a bank how to react when a sign of default is showing up, how to provision for it so it does not eat deep into their share capital. In fact, it is one of the major reasons how we calculate what a financial institution share capital should be. So, but honestly, personally, I think unethical anyway. So, but to the consumers, honestly, you have instances where the projection of the payments becomes stuck. You have the right, and it is just mutually beneficial that you will approach the entity so they restructure. Sometimes they can even freeze the transaction and give you some kind of moratorium and so on and so forth. So, or they can sell your loan to another entity who is ready to buy it. These are all the things that are happening in other countries so that you are not put
Yeah.
push them to doing what they are doing. But I think if they are also properly regulated, that behavior would be shown to them and be noted. It's not even
Thank you so much, Dr. Aisha.
call them bad or illegal collector, so that we don't also give a wrong position about you borrow my money, I have to collect.
Yeah.
So it is just the manner in which they are collecting that should be frowned at.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
I would.
We need
yes.
to clap on that. When you borrow money, you need to pay back.
Everybody,
Thank you.
everybody recognizes that not all consumers. We have some few consumers who are irresponsible. We will deal with that.
Yeah.
But I think what I would like to say within this space is the fact that number one, we have to understand that the knowledge base that we have represented in this room is not on the street. I don't know who is a registered
Licensed
whatever
or
or licensed or
unlicensed.
licensed unless you tell me, unless you make a whole lot of noise about it, and we have not yet invested in that
And
space.
doing that.
That's number one. Number two, even when I am aware, the government of every society
Yeah.
has a primary responsibility to look out for the welfare of its citizens. And I am always, I will keep referring to my sister here because we've been at this consumer protection thing like almost 3 decades now together. We know where we started from. We know where we are now. The challenge we have in Nigeria is that government is still catching up to taking on the primary responsibility of protecting their vulnerable consumers. Even when you have put out all that information, and you must also have some means by which you protect the ones who, after all of that information, they still do not get what you are talking about. And that is where regulation, that is where I may disagree with Dr. Aisha a bit. The fact that CBN does not regulate those people, that is CBN's understanding of the fact that you don't regulate those people. Me, as a consumer, Nigerian citizen, I expect CBN to look out for me whenever it has to do with anything financial. And so we need our sector regulators and FCCPC to step up. I think there needs to be some form of guidelines. For instance, she gave some options here that I'm sure a whole lot of Nigerians don't know they have those options when they default on a loan. And so that's when they start panicking. I had an experience, I think it was my security guard. He just came one day and said I should come and borrow him 300,000. I said, for what? How much is your salary? And he was panicking. He was really panicking. And I'm like, what is wrong? What is wrong? Until I pushed him. He said, it's a matter of life and death, ma. It's a matter of life and death. I said, what is the problem? Anyway, by the time we started investigating and calming him down and we discovered that this boy had been borrowing from one platform to the other, to that other, and then he was now caught up in this, and they were now threatening, sending all those threat messages to his family. We know where your child is. We know where your whatever is, and we got involved in it. They backed off because by the time we involved FCCPC, many of the lenders kind of dropped off because we don't know whether they were registered or not. So what I want to contribute here is that we need to go a step further in protecting our consumers. If we want them to trust the system, we need to show that the system is thinking ahead for them. We need a lot more guidelines that says, if you are in this space, if somebody says, I cannot afford to pay, what are the conditions under which the person can approach you to say, sorry, please, can you roll this back for me? How long is the minimum time that you can roll back? What are you supposed to do? We need more detailed, granular directive to manage that space. You see, when consumers know that you have that as the basic foundation of that loan, they are more empowered. So they know that, okay, I don't have to panic. If I cannot pay now, I can take this option. But we don't even know what those options are. They are not clearly stated somewhere. We need that from our regulators.
Well, thank you so much.
That is part of what we are doing here, actually, in terms of the awareness. That is what we are doing in terms of the awareness.
This is a regulator platform. This is us,
but the consumers listening as well.
This is where we are giving ideas as to what actions should follow. When those actions are on the table.
Okay.
That's when we now begin the mass consumer awareness.
Okay,
This
mass
is
consumer
we are still trying
awareness,
to
okay.
contribute to take stakeholder
Okay.
contribution.
and also hear from them.
So that we can take something out and implement. When that
okay.
implementation is there, when the document exists that said this is what guides the
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
of lending in Nigeria, whether you are registered or not, that document will be available. So a consumer, even if he's borrowing from somebody who is not a registered one, will be asking questions.
Yeah.
Do I have? Will I be able to do this? Will I be able to do that? Because he knows that those are the conditions under which he should operate.
You're very right.
Wow,
But,
thank you so
It's a
much.
regulation, no?
That
Okay.
regulation, the
So,
Dion rule.
sorry, can I? Because we don't have a lot of time, just and I know this is a very interesting. Okay.
A lot is available.
Okay, before we go to Dr. Aisha, please, can I just say that as we use the mics, let's hold it close to our mouth so that everybody online can also hear.
Okay.
Dr. Aisha, do you want to go ahead with your question or contribution?
Comments.
Say, honestly, treating the root cause is better than scrapping a lot. And as a country, we must have a protocol. I do not think I need to regulate or guided or licensed entities. Otherwise, we would mess the whole. Today, we cannot go and start piloting a plane if you have not. In fact, you can't even fly a plane. It's just in Nigeria that puts tags on the road. Other countries, you have a frequency at which you go check the roadworthiness of your car. That's why you can go in a country 1 week, 2 weeks, you won't see a single accident. It is not by mistake. It is intentional. It is deliberate. So, madam, we have done a whole lot of financial literacy. And I can still bet you some people will still go all the way up. I'm not saying we cannot improve. And when we want to declare about problem, we can mention names. That's why we're here, to resolve issue. We shouldn't go round and round. But I will let you know again, we have USSD where consumers can validate. Advocacies like you, Alfina, can take on that challenge to help us spread more. And I will tell you, I have a life experience where we even went and did financial literacy for consumer not to invest in MLM. They stoned us. We not came out of MLM. I mean, if I don't get a thank you, I do not want us sitting here and looking like what I said is wrong or what I said is wrong. We as CBN will work with what the law has given us. If we think there are other things we need to do, we can pass it by constructively. Because you cannot tell me that it doesn't matter if someone is not regulated, then I should go and control it. So if you live in face me and face one, and Mama Sina send you the money, CBN should carry early aids to go and arrest when they are not paid. No. I will focus on my mandate and it will remain so. But if there are issues which I have told you, these people are licensed by another entity, and if the entity feels they are not being properly regulated, we can work together. In other jurisdictions, I have never seen where a lender under any guise is licensed by another entity other than the central bank, some call it reserve bank, some call it monetary authority. So, I don't know. But if we want to do so, like we are working on ombudsman today, because we realize most of our peer countries do no longer retain their consumer protection departments. They move it to a sub-entity who has a combination of lawyers, investment experts, and so on and so forth. So I would advise that we face the problem so that we can offer solution, work together, and resolve it. I think that would be more in the interest of consumer rather than just treating a particular problem that surfaced.
Thank you, Dr. Aisha. Mrs.
Yes, I like to just put
Rebecca.
some. Let's
Your microphone.
let's establish what is existing and be clear on that. There is a regulation that is guiding the operations of digital money lenders in Nigeria. That's clear. Also, Dr. Aisha, there is also a digital money lenders task force that has regulators in this space on the enforcement arm of it. CBN is there, NIFDA is there, Data Push, NDPC is there, FCCPC is there, and we also have the police, the law enforcement agencies. They are there,
The FCC.
ready for enforcement actions. Then the third one is that the consumers on our website, registered DMLs are listed. When we deregister you for violations and infractions, you will be there also. We name and shame you as delisted. When you are on our watch list for bad behavior or bad conduct, it's there. So you can, with your phone that you are using to open that link or do the app, just go to straight to our website, check on the list, the same phone. So I don't know, we just have to say it the way it is. People are looking for cheap money and they do not plan to pay. The fraud guys are on both sides.
Yes.
So let's be very clear when we are talking, because they are consumers, they are lenders also that are fraud guys. So the third one is there is sufficient information about loan rescheduling, repayment in the genuine ones. It's there. But what is not there is the conditions, the terms and conditions of those rescheduling, which is the fine details. You understand? So if you are borrowing money, you will have to pay back. You may pay back with the first terms and condition, or you pay back with the subsequent rescheduling. But under our law, there are some conditions that we consider unfair, extremely unfair when it is one-sided, extremely unfair where there is no value, yet you are insisting on your side of the story that is not substantiatable. So these are the kind of things we look at, and and make sure that there's a balance of justice on both sides with respect to.
So to Dr.
DML.
Aisha's point, and maybe perhaps an opportunity to collaborate, do you see that
We
happening, and how
collaborate.
do
Thank you for Dr.
ensure
Aisha
that-
said that. We
Okay.
collaborate. I said there is an existing standing task force, that is made up of all of us. In fact, in the framework, everybody was in the room. I note and acknowledge the fact that CBN says that space is not under their regulatory mandate. Every organization is created by statute and operates within the statute. Otherwise, you lack jurisdiction. And any conduct that you do outside your mandate will be ultra virus. It's of no effect. It will not stand anywhere. So we had to bring everybody in the room because our law accommodates this. We need to protect consumers. It's a mandate that we have. So we brought everybody in the room, and we are still working as a standing committee for enforcement. So again, some of these DMLs have realized that FCCPC says Dion regulation is with FCCPC, so they come to us. And that's why we have significant complaints also in that area that is pursuant to our regulation.
Thank you so much for giving that clarity. Okay, so I'll just move to the next group of questions, and this particular one I'll pose to the CBN. It's under loan charges and transparency, and in the interest of time, I'll take just this one question directed at the CBN. Are banks supposed to continue charging interest on expired or overdue personal loans formally tied to a salary, especially when the customer is now unemployed and interest is still being charged? So that's for you, Dr. Aisha.
Thank you very much. Okay, so these are like several questions. Are banks supposed to continuously charge interest
Yes, on expired or overdue personal loans. Yes.
on expired overdue? Expired overdue.
Expired or overdue. Yeah.
Expired or overdue.
Yeah.
Expired.
They're two different
Has.
things.
If it's expired, you can't even put, yeah.
In what do you call it? No, expire means the loan tenure
Has ended. Mm-hmm.
or overdue payments may be that the loan
Late.
Yes.
Payments are.
Maybe the installments you've missed.
your current, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 points and we truly make sense together.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, and the good news today is all loans are on the system. The system will acknowledge that the loan should be repaid on 25th midnight. If by 26 after the 1 end of the day and kickstart the a set of customers or borrowers in this case are not paying back, the bank will overshoot its PG requirement, which is also an offense on the bank's balance sheet because the bank's position at the central bank will also be charged. Okay, so let me simplify it. The answer is no. The bank, the customer must pay back as at when due. Or if the customer has any issue, you have to inform your bank, and all kinds of arrangements are available. However, expect, because you mentioned when a person's salary stopped, could it be that the person was dismissed, terminated, or has retired? So this is where responsible lending also comes to stay on the part of the lender. Now, the financial institutions that will regulate. You must create first level repayment source. You must create a backup. People is telling me to start saying, see my face. You must create a backup, and for salary, it's very simple. Your salary is tied to your repayment, because if that's the only source of income, that means your salary will come, your repayment will come from your salary. The labor law has mandated a maximum percentage that you can collect from your as loan from your salary. So you are not collecting 100% before the salary is paid. So if borrower also overshoots that, you may strain lender do not comply with that. You may strain the capacity of the borrower to pay back. The second cover will be that, you're informing the institution or what you call the employer of the borrower. Aisha has borrowed 5 million from me. She is to pay donation or whatever. She has also ceded a part of entitlement. That's her final settlement, because today, I think maybe we could just take it at another recommendation. Just came to my head now. So I think you understand what I'm saying. So you will say to that employer. So the employer would properly document it. So when, and you know the good thing about that documentation, even when Aisha go for do not say, anyway, when the borrower is admitted, or sorry, dismissed, not dismissed,
Yeah.
have final entitlement. What the good news for the borrower is that the bank will pay, or the employer will pay.
Network.
Because the breaking loan or tuitions will be adequately covered. So this is the second collateral, and because if someone is dismissed and did not inform the employer, unfortunately, money will not come back to you. So these are all the things, and if the banks put this in place, the borrower now will not be too strained to pay back. But again, it comes back to both responsible lending and responsible borrowing. And the life is, because of social media, and even today, you will see, you just be checking your media, they show you should buy, they show you pay to buy. At the end of the day, they deliver the supply, until you realize you need them. So people should borrow within their means, and the lender should also ensure that they are not helping you to borrow beyond your ability to repay.
Yeah.
I think that's where we come in. So there must be first that intention. I think I remember, I can't remember again, capacity,
Yeah.
collateral. So don't even depends on capacity.
Yeah.
Depends on
Character.
then
Yeah.
depends on the rating. So we have credit bureaus, we have the CRMS in addition to the credit bureaus, and CBN. So you check, is Aisha a serial defaulter? Is Aisha because I can borrow, why not?
Yeah.
In fact, if somebody is doing well, you need to inject a third party money, which is lending from financial institutions. But they need to check, they need to build history for you.
Yeah.
Starting on what your turnover can conveniently pay for. So I think it's still a bit of engagement with lenders, borrowers, and what we are doing today. So we all need to come together and continuously advocate for responsible borrowing. Because what I see the loan sharks to do is you just get on say because you think they will earn 20%, they will borrow you, they don't even know if you have capacity to pay. And then if you cannot not pay, okay, name and shame. If you still don't get your money, what happens? So, but I think we all need to come together, and I agree, yes, as a nation, define who should play in which area. And like I chatted with them, I need to understand or see a copy of any enforcement activity that CBN participated. Because it is not in our regulation by extension to use law enforcement agency to tame a borrower. There are protocol for the borrower's behavior and how we manage it in-house. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha. Okay.
Can I?
Very quickly.
Even though the question is to the bank, but we have similar situations
Okay,
as
very
well
quickly.
when people get a salary loan. So what we expect them to do is to tell us that okay, they've lost their employment. We will look at the conditions of the loan. There may be like a credit life insurance
Okay.
that will cover for the period that they've lost the job. We can actually reschedule as well.
Yeah.
We can have an agreement with them if they've got any emolument from the organization to say that, okay, we can, in terms of the interest, we can have a different repayment plan just to suit. Yes, it's just to suit the situation. So we have similar situations as well, but that is how we deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
As a
awesome.
digital lender.
Thank you so much. Mr. Judge, you want to make a quick...
Establish, I mean, let me speak it in the consumer language that the consumer understands. What, from listening to Dr. Aisha,
Of all the registered
Money
and
lenders.
licensed
Okay.
money lenders in Nigeria.
So if we're going
Okay,
to
we
cross-check
can-
that
we'll-
list with your association members, would they be on the FCCP?
Yes, they-
Yeah.
If the members, whether they are members of the association is a free will, an association is a free will.
No, I understand
So
that, but I'm also checking
the
their own
registered ones,
compliance
yeah, that's, I mean, you know, the registered ones
are on,
are on
FCCP
our
website.
list because we register them.
Okay.
So you take our list and then scrub them.
Absolutely. Of course, that's what I
So, and I've
alluding
already
to.
said to them that, look, like you said, you know, they're also in the industry. They know that the challenge is, please, consumers, the same phone is where you can confirm before you click that button. Can you just do that, please? It's your money. Now, you know, let me tell you the psychic of an average borrower in Nigeria. You know that, you know, when government gives money, it's free for all. Yes, it's your own national cake. The understanding of these monies and the speed at which it lands gives a psyche that you don't need to pay. These people are not serious. It's part of the excesses that they're just sharing for us to be happy. I'm telling you. And then they shop from one
to the other.
lender to another. And I've told them in their meetings, because you don't co-share information. Why would I be on paying, using one app to pay another app, and then pay another one, and pay another one, and pay another one? Just kind of migrating, you know, like as if it's gambling.
Yeah.
We need to understand the environment that we are in. We're a wonderful set of people with respect to money, especially free money. So when you are saying you're a money lender, you're a credit
License.
they are saying that it's free money that you are giving them. There is no plan to pay back from ab initio. And interestingly, the database of such consumers are far increasing, just like the way the DMLs are also increasing. So I think for me, and that's why sometimes I'm a bit, I like my aunt here, they use that the passion to educate consumers. Now, the education used to be by, look, let us be shouting at them. can we just tell them check before you just click it? You know, we are because the bad guys are the ones that get easily, cheated with, that is consumers now, not even the lenders.
Yes.
Right. And then the scenario of this good customer is also part of it. So we have, and we need to say it also, while we are able to regulate lenders, we can't regulate consumers. Unfortunately, you have a right of choice. We can't say you must not borrow from somewhere. We can only give the information. And even as she said, can I list it? I cannot start mentioning who is there because it's a competitive issue. Go to the list, pick anyone. We can't say take this or not take it. But we can tell you that if it's not on this list, though, you are on your own. Yes, you're on your own.
Kafon is going to commit to getting that list and putting it on our AI platform. So that if you have that platform, you just need to type the name of the app and say, is this one registered? It will pull it for you and tell you whether it is or not.
And just a 1 minute to correct the impression Dr. Aisha was asking, they don't do enforcement. This is a digital enforcement. When we talk about enforcement in this, we pull down apps, we do shut down.
That's the enforcement you're talking about.
That's kind of enforcement I'm talking about. Again, they're on the list of members. So whether you are physically present, it's not that we wear gown. Well, there's an aspect of that, But, we do. And then I know that one, Of course, they don't join us on those kind of things. We do that physical enforcement by ourselves. But you are in the team. That's what I mean by that.
Can
not necessarily
can I make a suggestion? Because we're looking for solutions here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit difficult now because CBN already said they don't regulate the digital money lenders. Is there a way that FCCPC and CBN can collaborate? Because now,
the question I was asking.
Yes, now,
and that's what Dr. Aisha
if you do any such hanky-panky with the registered and regulated banks under CBN, they whitelist or hotlist your BVN.
Yeah.
They do all these things. So is there a way to extend that protection to the licensed money lenders who are trying to do the business in an ethical manner? Maybe you can work with CBN.
That's what she's saying as well.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
guidelines.
That at the moment, the regulation.
Sincerely, I think that's the way to go.
I think that's the way to go.
Under any guise, the real problem, which is what I said, let's solve the root cause of the problem.
Absolutely.
These people are licensing. Do they even have the capacity to even lend? Do they know the rudiment of lending? We need to work together, honestly.
Yeah.
So we leave that cap as FCCPC or CBN.
Yeah.
Because in fact, the CBN takes the most of the blame. And why I say this, even when pepper is expensive in the market, if you buy pepper yesterday 10 naira, today they say it's 9 naira. CBN doesn't get a thank you. But if you buy pepper 10 naira, it's now 11 naira or 10 naira. CBN. And the same way we get flogged for all these unlicensed, to us they are unlicensed.
Yeah.
But like I said, I commend FCCPC. They did the best in the interest of our nation at that time. But I think it is time for us to ramp up
together.
Because under any guise, if you lend, you're collecting deposit. And as long as you don't know how to run it, in fact, I can even tell you most of them are running into problem.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see they use another company that are not licensed under you to go collect money from the public, promising them 40%.
Yeah.
Looking, okay, I do lend it out for 20%, I'll make money. But at the end, they get burned because they're unable to pay back. They lend more than, because in the bank, we have the loan to deposit ratio.
Yeah.
You will see even in our MPC declaration, we freeze some particular money.
Yeah.
We hold them tight here and pay interest to encourage them. But even at that, it's tug of war between us and the banks. No, we need more money. Because in fairness, that's where banks make money from lending. That's their major income. If not until recently, when the focus became, it's now on payment system that they make those 10 naira, 20 naira, multiplied by multiple customers. The income fee, no, we don't call it income. The fee
income
from payments channel is now becoming massive on their balance sheet. So if you read the end of their statement of account, you will see it's also now significant.
Yeah.
Before, it wasn't very, very tiny. You wouldn't even notice it.
Thank-
So, but lending interest and fees on those management fee, administrative commitment, are major, because
Yeah.
anywhere world over, main business of banking is
Yes.
to pull money from surplus and divert to deficit,
Fantastic.
but in a prudential manner. So we are open for FCCPC to share what they are using, because using LEA either online, physical, or under any way will cause more chaos. Name shaming them will translate to consumer suffering, because if your regulator, he's doing this, harassing you, sorry for using of that word, coming after you in an orthodox way, you're also telling them to go recover the money in orthodox way.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I say let's speak the truth to each other. But we are open to work with any entity, and let's move this discussion forward.
Sorry,
Thank-
I
thank
need to
you.
I need to
Thank
correct
you,
something
Dr.
quickly.
Aisha.
I need to correct something
Okay,
quickly.
very quickly,
As
please. Money lender.
digital money lender, our license does not allow us to take deposits. We
Okay.
don't collect deposits.
Okay.
That's why we are different from microfinance banks,
Okay.
and we are different.
And that's
So
why
we are
I
using
said what we
our
have
money,
seen.
Okay.
and we are using.
How do you
We are
get
going
the
to the
money?
banks
Okay,
to
please
get
tell
money
us.
as a
So
customer.
where does the money come from? Is what she's asking.
Yes, our shareholders.
Okay.
And we can go to the bank as
Okay,
a company.
fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. We don't
But
collect
what we have
deposits.
seen, we are not talking about you, please.
Okay.
We're speaking what is happening generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when issue comes, they flush it to CBN. And what we see is that these lenders register another company in which they use to collect money from people, promising them. This happened. Someone sold a property. I'm telling you, a senior deputy director in government agency. Will you tell me that person doesn't know that he put 250 million and they will pay him 610 million?
Yeah.
And he told me he's retiring next year. And I had to say, please see me personally. How can you use 34 years of whatever? I'm just saying that it's not true, but this is what we see. They are using other entity, not visible, to collect money. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm not saying you, but I'm saying this is what is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha. And just in the interest of time, we're going to move to the Q&A from the audience now very quickly. But we'll start with the CEO of EFINA. She has a comment, actually.
Yeah, just a quick comment.
quickly
And I
contribute.
like the fact that it's an animated conversation, because this is a very serious issue. So I expect nothing less. But I just wanted to make maybe a comment or sort of a question. It probably is already underway. But you know what comes to mind when we say, oh, let them go to our website? It's like, oh, you have a gift for someone, you've packaged it, but it's in your house. And the person has no clue. They have to come to your house to find out about the gift and then retrieve it. So what I'm hoping FCCPC can do, and I acknowledge and appreciate Mrs. Ajulo and Kafon on what you want to do, is anytime I'm scrolling, I don't know if it's my algorithm, I'm always seeing borrow 10K and why is FCCPC not in that kind of space? And what I mean is not to list, but to say, before you borrow money online, do you know that you can verify whether or not these people are licensed? Go to FCCPC website to find out, so that they don't have to just wait for this kind of information. As those supposed good and bad actors are online, you are online as well, so that they are seeing it in real time. Before you borrow, check if they are licensed. Before you borrow, do this. That's what I'm hoping FCCPC can do. So take the message out there. Let's not wait for them to come to your house.
Just one
to get the
phone.
gift.
We will do it for you.
Awesome.
That's a valid. That's valid.
So being proactive as well to share the information. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So do we have anybody in the audience, live audience in the room, that would like to ask a question to any of our panelists? No questions. Are there questions from the online audience? Do we have any questions? Oluchi? Okay. Please, can you... Okay, someone bring the microphone to you. So just 1 minute, very short, be clear, who you're directing the question to.
All right. my question will go to the digital lenders, right? So, in all of these things that you've discussed, I'm wondering what's the place of credit check, you know, credit check, what is the place of credit check? Then I think somebody mentioned that if you owe a bank, they whitelist your BVN, then everybody knows. So now, how are we, going to move from checking if somebody is eligible, monitoring with the BVN, then there's NIN, and then there is what else? There's driver's license, then there's voters registration. Probably that is a future conversation, but at least for now, now what is a place of credit check? Because even me, I can remember, while I was still working in the bank, I think there was a loan or something that I took that had been fully repaid, right? Not until maybe 7 years after, and I was looking into maybe mortgage or something, and they were telling me you have a paid loan, and I'm like, from who?
Okay.
Do you understand? So they now printed statement of almost 10 years. Then there was minus 50 naira, 20 naira, 20 naira. Then it turned out that it was the bank that made the error. Then they passed it to credit bureau, and the credit bureau put the thing across to everybody. Do you understand? So now the question is, there will be a lot of people who are probably going through that, but they will not know until they need loans. Do you understand? When they even apply for loans and they are denied, they won't even know why they are denied. It was because I kept pressuring them that, okay, why did you deny this? Why did you put this back? Then they said, go to your credit check. Then I did credit check, and it took almost 4 months. Even after doing the credit check, sent email to bank, copy the credit check, then credit check would say, go back to the bank. Then we were doing that back and forth, even the same bank that I worked. Do you understand? So now, what's the place of credit check? And like she rightly said, it is good to have conversations like this. Do you understand? But they need to be taken out. Now, if you take a cue from how the tax laws were promoted, from the point of formulation to the public hearing, even before it got to 1st of January of this year, there had been truckload of content about those things. There were some misinformation which they came out to clear later, but people took over, the communication of those laws even before the enactment. So we shouldn't just say yes, but the laws are there, the regulation is there, the list is there, they are licensed. I didn't even know
Thank you.
that there is
Sorry, have you asked a
licensed
question?
and unlicensed. Do you understand? Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, quickly. In terms of digital money lenders, credit check and using the credit bureau is so fundamental in our credit assessment. You come online, you will onboard you. You put your BVN just for identity verification. The next stage for eligibility, now that digital lenders are not allowed to use contact details on phones and all that, it's a credit bureau that you will go. And that is embedded into the technology that we use. And it will just tell you your BVN, you've got 2 or 3 overdues. If you want to go further, you can request for the report. So most licensed digital lenders, it is credit bureau that will be the first thing that they check. And they will, for my own company, when 100 people apply, you have almost 60 people just because they've got loans all over the place. And the system will do that in seconds with the technology that we use. So it is so vital, it is so important for us.
Can I also say something about this? Because we need to keep this thing in perspective as much as possible. The way the digital money lender platform is supposed to work, from my understanding, is it is an alternative to the standard financial banks and all that. And because of that, the checks and balances cannot be the same. Because what's going to happen if we overdo this is that space is going to shrink, because it will not be available for as many people as possible. There are some people whose credits are bad. but it's not because they are wicked. It's just because they are going through life. The digital money lenders are their only lifeline. So if you now make it too rigid, as we're doing with the regular banks, we are going to shrink that market space.
Regulation is making it rigid for us.
No.
FCCPC is making it rigid.
No. Those are needed rigidity. I'm saying that a situation where we now start saying put everything against all the checks and balances that you put in a standard bank. You understand?
Okay.
Then we will lose the plot.
Yeah.
That's what we need to be. And then two, it is like commodity. That is the way it is. So we need to please protect it as a commodity. It is, I have money.
Yes.
I can loan. We do it informally within our friends and family.
Yeah.
I have money, I can loan you. I will take 10% on it when you return it. It's social capital. I think what we should be working with you to do is to enlighten our consumers to build their social capital in such a way that their social capital can be valued.
Yes.
As a reason for them to enjoy this kind of extended whatever, because we have to create. Yes.
What we used to do before is that even if you don't have that regular income, will you use the SMS that you get, the airtime, and the pattern? We don't use credit bureau, but now FCCPC has come back to say that you
And
can't
that's
have
helpful.
access to those things.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of people are moving away from the normal, informal, not regular income to formal. The people in salaried and regular. So we are alienating. We are moving away because of regulation.
No, it's not. It's because of
it's
your
a risk.
wait.
It's
Let
a
me
risk
say
we are
this.
taking.
Let me say this. It's
Yes.
because of your misuse of that access.
No,
Wait. Because
Okay.
if
not misuse.
no, let's
Maybe-
Let me
let's
correct
clear
that.
it.
Maybe you can
No,
take-
for unlicensed, you say for unlicensed lenders.
No. The
Okay.
reason why FCCPC would insist that you shouldn't use that anymore is because when the consumer drops the plot and is not able to pay, you go to that same platform. If you are using that,
Thank
listen.
you. Thank
If
you
you were
so
using
much.
that platform
Yes.
to check
Yes.
for whether I'm eligible for you to extend to it, that's still okay.
Yeah.
It is when you now want to use that same platform to collect.
Thank
By
you.
now
You are crossing the
spreading.
line now.
So okay,
No,
this
for-
conversation.
sorry,
I
sorry,
apologize.
quickly. I
We
need
don't
to
have enough
clarify
time.
this.
I
I
apologize.
need
No,
to
you can
clarify
clarify
this.
afterwards,
For
sir.
licensed digital money lenders, we don't use contactless. We
Okay.
don't collect even before.
Okay, we will confirm that afterwards. Can I just ask this last question from the audience? Please go ahead. Very, very, very quickly.
So, good afternoon, everybody. It's quite interesting that we're on this particular thinking, right? Because I was going to ask the consumer that we are defining, is it a single individual? Because for many of us, right, we don't have regular incomes, it is for our business we want to borrow, right? And we have small businesses. So I have an LPO from a reputable company. And then I go to a digital money lender and I'm wondering, how do you apply? How do you qualify? You know, it's different from you checking my credits and saying, okay, you are XYZ person and this. What about for my business? How does it apply to digital money lending? This is where I want to ask.
Thank you.
That's a business loan, and it is not something that is like short term. It is something that will be reviewed by a credit analyst. It will look at the LPO to see how the person giving you the LPO is a reputable company. How is this money going to be repaid back? And that loan will be given to you based on the dynamics of the business you are doing. So we do customize some of these loans. It's not.
So the question I'm asking
Okay.
directly is that, am I eligible as a customer for a short term? Okay, so I have a
Yeah, you are.
I have a supply. A bank says, supply me XYZ
Okay.
items, right?
Okay.
Usually, from the point of award to the point of payment,
Okay.
that's I'm now saying execution stroke invoicing, right? And getting paid. Let's say 60 days. 60 days, you know.
That's fine.
So can I come and say, I take a 60-day loan, or can I? Because it's short time. Unlike if I had to go through the natural process, where I have probably get a payment guarantee, or that can
Okay.
be.
Have you done that transaction before? Do you have track record?
Yes,
of
we
such
have track
transactions?
records of that.
Yes,
So we
in-
continue having those LPOs, and then the bank is and the consumer or the customer is telling us you have to fund 100%. We can't give you anything upfront. So when
so you are the type of customers
Okay.
that we are looking for.
Okay, we'll
because we are ready.
That
to
sounds
build
more.
our
Thank you
business.
very
That sounds
much.
more like a microfinance transaction than a consumer
No,
business.
no,
The
we-
consumer,
Thank you.
the consumer traction.
Yeah.
Yes, you can be.
You are
Okay.
customers to us. You are customers to microfinance. You are customer to.
Yeah.
So we are
Yeah.
in the same space. You are.
Okay. To be honest, I think there are lots of questions that people want to ask and that can be discussed with you. Maybe have to take it after the session just so that
Okay.
we don't keep people waiting. There's one question we'll take from the online audience
Yes.
and then we can.
I believe this is directed to Dr. Aisha. It says, how can the CBN help to protect the borrower from the effects of bank errors in computing bad debts? Example, some banks have poor cleanup of residual balances on loans. The residual balance amount is not visible in the borrower's account. It is in a suspense account. They leave this amount to lie fallow for some years without informing the borrower. This leads to accumulated default interest charges. Then the bank books the accumulated amount as a bad debt against the borrower and chases down repayment to the surprise of the borrower. Sometimes the bank even reports to third-party debt recovery agents in such cases. How can the CBN protect the borrower from this?
Okay, that's to Dr. Aisha. I don't know.
Okay, thank you very much. I think again I like cleared question. So first, let me even answer when a borrower feels excessively charged, which is not in line with their offer letter, they should escalate back to the bank. I'm supposed to pay 10 naira, but I'm seeing 12 naira debit. If the bank refuses to settle it, for different kinds of complaints, we have time bar or time limit for which the bank should resolve. For excessive interest, it is 15 working days, right? Or 10 working days, that's 2 weeks. Yes, 10 working days, 2 weeks. So if the customer is not satisfied, sometimes the bank will now say, oh, sorry, it's SS1 naira, it's not SS2 naira. The customer, so the issue is resolved to the bank, but the customer is not satisfied, the customer will escalate to CBN. Or if at all the issue is not even resolved, the customer will escalate. Then we take it on by asking for all the documents, we do a technical review, and we come up with the SS charge. In the first case, if it was issue of miscarriage of information, the bank will be asked to refund the extra 1 naira. But where the bank did not respond to the customer at all and has not shown any evidence that they even did cross-check, and it turned out to be that there was an excess charge, aside from refunding the customer, we also have in our BOFIA a monetary sanction on the bank. So, but a loan account under any guise will continue to remain live. It should not be moved to any suspense account. And that's why I said your question is not clear. But where it is an LC issue, a contingent account may be open for it, because usually it is not in a narrow facility, it's an FCY facility. And because we are not FCY nation, that's foreign exchange, the money will sit in an account open for that purpose. However, that account will still belong to that customer because each LC advisory to all customers. From what we have seen, big companies, they don't even have simple accountant that will guide them on. So you now see that it's when it is sticky, it is escalated to us, you have to go far back as 10 years, 15 years. Is very tasking because some documents are very difficult to retrieve. But if they are not retrieved, we default the liability on the bank because they have the responsibility to keep those accounts. So very well, please tell customers to escalate it is still consumer protection. We have a team dedicated. In fact, we have a unit called SS Charges Account. I mean, am I right? SS SS Charges Office. That's what they do. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And the
very
guide to
much.
bank charges is also there to guide how much of interest, when there is default, how many days moratorium does the customer require before the bank begins to call in and set the system. The system is even set. Some banks 3 days, some banks 7 days, but we did a cap, but you can lower it. And that's where we are. Thank you so much. I hope I've been able to address your question.
Yes,
madam.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take one more question from the online audience, and then there's a question that Mr. Adelekun would like to also
Clarify.
address and clarify.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
before we go, let's just answer this question
Okay, this
very
says,
quickly.
what is the consequence for lenders who abuse customer data when they start sending malicious messages about the borrower?
I think this will go to FCCPC.
Thank you. The first is that when the lender will be pulled down, the app will be pulled down, we'll make sure that they don't operate. If it's the bad guys, they are usually not with the apps, they will do it via other means. So we'll identify their locations and we shut them down. We prosecute them. The jail terms are there for the for those ones that are offenders. Yes. So please report them to us so that we can go after them. The
Awesome.
more we pull out, you report them to us on our website, send us our outlines, if I have the permission. Our complaint portal is on our website. You just see it there once you get to, FCCPC. You don't even need to write everything. Once you put FCCPC, it will pop up.
Okay, we all need to now promote that and make sure everybody's aware.
Yes, and then
yeah.
I mean, I'm just hearing we are on Brekete, we are on radio stations, we are on everything, local radio stations, in fact, in all the states, Hausa, Igbo, but Nigeria is big, so we'll take it on again,
Yeah.
And then there is another part of us. We are not active listeners. People are here hearing, but they're not listening.
True. Very
So,
true.
I
Very
mean,
true.
You send somebody a card, it's boldly written their date, time, and venue. Say, where are you doing it? So,
Very
I mean,
true.
you want to wonder what else? It's right in your front, and you're still asking, where is the venue? But again, we take it back because it's part of how
Very
we want
true. Very
to
true.
see how we overcome all
Yeah.
these obstacles. So, we are grateful for initiatives like this that continue to help us to speak,
Yeah.
and hopefully it will get there.
you.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you. And so over to you, Mr. Adelekun. The last, you wanted to clarify on high interest rates. I think the question was, why is the interest rate of loans from digital apps so high and unexplainable?
Oh, I get that question every time.
Okay.
And what I tell people is high interest rates, I would say, is relative. The reason why I'm saying that is the cost of providing the service. I can give you 3 or 4 examples of what the cost entail to be able to. Number one, we don't collect deposits we don't have access to cheap loans, cheap funds. What we do is, it is based on this. We go to the bank and the MPR, which is 27.5% already. That's one cost for us.
Okay.
The second cost is the technology that we provide
Right.
in terms of BVN verification, in terms of tokenization, in terms of all the technology that works behind to be able to provide your service, cash in seconds, cash in minutes, credit bureau charges, tokenization with payment charges, BVN charges. So those costs are the reason why
Interest rates.
the interest rates are relatively high because of
They're high.
the swiftness of the service that we provide. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
they're
that's why
expensive
they're high.
already.
Okay.
So when people say your interest rates are high, where will we get cheap interest when our source of funds are but we are providing a service, someone needing that money in an emergency. And when people say, you give them an interest rate of 6%, or the first thing is 6 to 10 times 12. That is 72% in a year.
It is high. It is very
But you
high.
want this for 1 month. It's like you come into Lagos, you want to rent a hotel. Hotel is charging you 50,000. You now say, you need that hotel for 1 night.
So I think the point
you now multiply it by 365.
Yeah.
No,
That is 18 million.
No.
18 million naira.
It's that comparison does not
I'm
even.
just
it is
saying.
Not, please don't
No,
even,
no,
don't even
I'm
don't go
just
there.
saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So-
Don't
I
even
am
go
just
there.
saying.
Don't go there.
No.
So what we're
No.
seeing here
It is
clearly-
an emergency loan. We are providing it for 30 days.
Fantastic.
At 72%,
Fantastic.
no
No,
loan
not at
makes
72.
sense.
So, okay.
For
Can
30
I-
days, we
Yes.
will charge you 72%.
72%.
So I think that this
No
is a-
one will charge you that.
No, we're
Even-
saying per annum.
No,
So if you're charging me
Okay.
6% every month for a
Okay.
loan I want for just 30 minutes, you're assuming that I'm going to use the loan within 30 minutes. I'm sorry,
No,
30
no,
days.
just for 30
I'll do it.
days.
I think
Yes,
it's
yes.
So if I don't,
based on the technology,
If for-
based on the cost.
if for any reason
Okay.
I am unable to meet that 30 days limit,
Yeah.
Okay.
you are still going to be charging me the 6%. Even
No,
if it
no,
lasts
no,
for
no,
1
no,
year.
no, no, no. It's a penal. That's when the penal fee comes.
So
until
you even make it
repay.
worse.
No, no, no.
So
There's
it's now
no
be more than
6%.
Sorry.
more
No,
than
no, no.
6%.
But
Sorry, so it's
but
a-
this cost.
This conversation we won't finish it today.
Okay.
But
Can
at
I
the end
just
of the
say
day,
something?
is the money that we are getting. We are
Yeah.
getting money from the bank. You can't tell the
Absolutely.
bank that has given you money for 30 days to tell them 31 days.
Absolutely.
They
So
will charge
I
you.
think
In
what
fact-
it
in
is,
fact,
I think at the
listening-
end of the day, what it is really
Yes.
is know your, target the right audience. So there are
Yes.
people that are meant for you. There are people that shouldn't go to them. Simple.
Thank
It's
you.
not-
Thank
fact,
you.
in fact,
You
listening
just
to
need-
him,
Our
I
funds
now
are for
see.
emergency.
Listen,
Absolutely, and people that
listening
can
to
afford
you,
it.
Yes.
I now see the point
Emergency
of
that they can't
exploitation.
No, I said-
I can now see the
you
clear
can't.
point of exploitation.
They
It
won't
is.
allow it.
Thank you
FCCP
so-
will not allow exploitation.
Leave it.
Thank
They
you.
won't.
We won't.
They
We
won't.
so-
How can you start 72% per month?
Thank
This is
you.
Not
ridiculous.
per month. We're
Yes,
saying
sir.
per
You can't.
per
Okay,
annum.
we've
You
come.
can't.
Parado.
We have now come to
And so
the.
go to the bank. Will they give you
Thank
30?
you,
Will
Mr.
they give you
Adelakun.
30 days?
Mr.
Twenty
Mr.
something
Adelakun.
yesterday.
For
Thank you so
10,000.
much.
So you are paying 10,000. You are
Thank
paying
you,
12.
Mr. Adelakun. We'll take this off.
Yes.
We'll take this offline, sir.
Can I
Thank
just
you
No,
so
no.
much.
Can I just say something?
There's a service that we are providing.
Mr.
Yes.
Adelakun,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much. This is actually not a town hall, it's a family meeting.
No.
You know how family meetings can be. They say family members, you tell yourself the truth. You iron
Any
issues
conference that I
out.
go, this is
Yes.
what I face.
And this is what we
And that's why I said we should bring it
Mr.
up and we
Adelakun,
need to
we
clarify.
appreciate you so much for coming. And I get the point Mr. Adelakun is making, and I get your point, Mrs. Ajulo. I guess Chinasa has clarified. The truth is,
Yes.
there shouldn't be a mismatch in terms of the kind of loans you're taking. So you can't be taking short-term loans for things that would require
Long-term.
a longer term to pay back. And that's part of the advocacy that we all will do. Both the money lenders, of course, the likes of CAFON, EFINA, and the many other ecosystem players. Because some of the time, even the customers don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know these things. And you might not even get all the information you need to be able to rightly place that customer and be able to determine their capacity to pay within that period. So the work is cut out for us. It doesn't end here. These family meetings will continue. We will call you and we appreciate you for coming. Such meetings will continue, and thankfully, family members, when they finish, they'll always be like, we will take pictures, we will laugh and all of that. So I'm going to hand back to Chinasa, who's going to wrap up.
Thank you very much for it. So thank you to my panelists. You've been very passionate about the conversation, clearly. And I guess it's also an indication that this is an important conversation and you care a lot about consumers and the issues they're faced with and the role that you play. So thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha, for your time, for your commitment, contributions. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Adelakun. You've been very passionate. We love to see it. Your energy, is palpable. Mrs. Ajulo, for continuing to support us and be part of these conversations. We really appreciate your time. Mrs. Adeyinka, thank you for the work that you're doing at FCCPC. We know that there's conversation that needs to happen with you and CBN. I don't know what that's going to translate to, but looking forward to it.
On behalf of EFINA for bringing this very robust
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I must commend it. It's
Thank
quite
you.
unique.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
we have
Thank
the
you.
regulators, consumers, and then the associations all here
Fine.
in the room. Well done. Well done.
Fantastic. And thank you for always answering when we call. We do appreciate it. Thank you. And on that note, I'd like to say that we've come to the end of the second edition of the Ask the Regulator initiative that EFINA started last year. And we hope to see more people join and just, be part of this conversation, get more information, improve your knowledge. We took a poll at the beginning and at the end, and I'm just curious to see what the result is, what people knew before the conversation, and if that has improved. Olichi, do you have like a report, the before and after view? Just to see how effective this town hall is. Is Olichi there? Okay. Okay, because I don't know what the before was, so I can't see what the improvement is. But at least in the second part.
Yeah.
What's the report? Where's Olichi? No? Yeah. No change. Well, but let's be comforted that it's just a very small percentage, so you won't be perfect. What's the second question? After the session, how clear are your rights as a borrower? And very clear, large percentage, say very clear. Do you need to move to the next page? It's still populated. Okay. Well, we will share these results so that we see that this has been effective. But thank you again. I'll now invite my colleague Nora to round us off the session. Thank you.
A round of applause for our panelists. Please, you can go back. Okay. Please can we move towards this way? All right, so as we prepare to log off, just wanted to highlight a few takeaways, right? The first one is that consumers need to do, their proper research before they sign up for these loans, right? The providers do their KYC, right? As a consumer, do your own KYB, know your business, right? Of course, FCCPC has said that it's on their website, but of course, they are graciously going to promote the information, right? The second one will be, again, consumer education is very important, and the responsibility falls on all of us. So, for example, like staying off the APK links and stuff like that, right? And another one I like to talk about is that FSPs need to imbibe and promote responsible lending. We don't want an ecosystem where we're dealing with over indebtedness. Yeah, so just wanted to say that we got a lot of questions that we couldn't answer. So we're going to collate all these questions, provide responses to them, and put it out on all our social media platforms. Please always visit EFINA's website www.efina.org.ng so that you're kept abreast, right, with information on what we're doing. Lastly, the Ask the Regulator event is a quarterly event, so please watch out for when the next one is going to take place, the one in Q2. Thank you all for making this a very insightful event. Good day.